The desperation by KRA to boost the revenue stream in the country is frustrating many people. And even members of his cabinet, members of William Ruto's cabinet, are coming out bravely to say this is too much. Immediately, the Kenya Revenue Authority released a memo on capping the extent of assortments or personal assortments that someone must carry when he's leaving or coming in the country at the JKA. Alfred Mutua came out fuming against that move. And I want you to look at this screen, look at this photo here. All goods, whether new or used, are subject to taxation. However, different passenger categories have different concessions and entitlement. And under the hashtag Plan Your Travel, they're saying, remember when traveling, you will be allowed to carry personal or household items worth 500 USD and below. 500 USD, now our conversion rate is around 157. It's in the tune of around 70,000. So apparently, I was just talking to a subscriber who is coming in the country. He's telling me that, Kevin, the briefcase I'm having first is almost $1,000. So if I am to pay tax for anything above $500, then it means I'll even have to pay tax for that. I'll have to pay tax for that briefcase. I have some phone, or I have even bought a laptop or something for my siblings back home. Am I going to pay taxes for them? And she just sent this form to me. So anyone, if you're coming in the country, you'll have to, at JKA, you will meet this form somewhere. So this is where you will declare what you have. Then the taxation team, the enforcement team, will actually enforce that tax. And this is what Alfred Mutua said, fuming about what KRA is doing. And according to him, they're not making things better.
When our tourists come, amebeba kamera mbili, amebeba viatu, anataka kuja shopping, anataka kuja kwa wengine, akifika pale KRA, anaambiwa afungue mfuko yake, ando yake inashikwa na kalamu inachoka kando hivi namna hii, wanatafuta sijui kamera mbili kwa hapo, sijui kiatu mbili, perfume umeletea nani hapa. We harass our visitors when they come to this country at the airport. And then we wonder why they don't come back. You go to Rwanda, they don't harass you. When Rwanda doesn't collect taxes. You go to South Africa, they don't harass you. When South Africa doesn't collect taxes. You go to Dubai, they don't harass you. Why are they harassing our visitors here? You know, mama anatoa chupi yake inawekwa kando na watu wa KRA hapo kando hadharani. They'll never come back to Kenya. And we wonder, why did we come to number 4? Why are people not coming to Kenya? So you have to present the right optics. People have to get that warm feeling. You go to Singapore today, nobody harasses you. You go to the Seychelles, you know, you go to Maldives, nobody opens your bag. You're a tourist. You know what I mean? So those are some of the things that we need to correct, and now you have the right leader to correct it for you. You know? Yeah. And we'll ask them, whether you tell us we close down the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife and focus on other things, come on, but if you want us to collect money and get this country to be rich, then stop harassing our products. You know, so that our product can come here and do. Na KRA si wabaya sana. Ni wazuri. Lakini wana tabia mbaya.
Now, that is clearly a point that, and I think I agree with Waziri, and that is why it is that video why people are saying that William Ruto is going to sack Alfred Mutua, or he will find himself in some fringe ministry in a latest reshuffle that might happen. He will find himself in some new created ministry, not even near that tourism office. But what he's saying is actually the truth. And in this podcast, I want us to look at the deep conversation about our taxation regime and what's the interpretation of the situation. But before that, I'm reminding you about our November project here. This photo here is a photo of some women carrying their children in urgent need of wheelchairs. So under the bold, after I was one of our subscribers who works with them does some therapy for those, physiotherapy for those children, reached out to me, and we decided that we can do something for them. Of all those other requests, I know there are quite a number, but we can do this, and that is why I'm requesting on 100 shillings challenge towards the purchase of those wheelchairs. Probably we are looking at collecting for this week. The target is 100,000. I think as I speak, I started yesterday. I already have 7,300. Yes, so we are short of it by 92,700. And we believe that we can do this towards until the end of the week, so that next week we'll be able to purchase these wheelchairs. Zitawasaidia sana wakiwa shule na tena wakiwa nyumbani, because the parents, the saying movement is a bit of a problem. And thank you very much for those who have been I think contributing. I know I cannot mention all of you because the numbers. Thank you, John, Peter, Bruno, Hinzano, Patrick, Lona, Eunice, yes, Joseph, quite a number. Thank you very much. Let's get back to this. The conversation about our taxation need to be purely restricted to economics, and it needs to answer one question. Is it helping us collect more taxes as intended, or what is the outcome? Because if it is, it seems that it is guided by an ambition to collect more. But again, at what point does it go beyond its elastic limit? Are we getting overtaxed? That is a conversation that I think William Ruto needs to look at. And that video by Alfred Mutua needs to get to State House, and I know they have looked at it, so that they understand what exactly is going on. How will someone come in the country? And we need those guests. When they are here, they are spending. Apart from just the taxes, between the taxes you are collecting when they are getting at their points of entry, when they're here, they're spending. And some of these people are Kenyans coming. They've bought things for their families and their members. They want to come back in the country. We still collect taxes when they travel. You know, they're using our public transport. Or even if they're using private means, they're buying fuel in the country. They're spending that much they have. They're spending that 5-star hotels. Those hotels are getting income. And so if we can just make some very shallow policies that is even going to reduce the influx of tourists, then it seems as a country we don't know what we are doing. And the Kenyan problem is summarized in this diagram.
How much would you work if you were taxed at 100%? So that every time you go to the office, instead of getting a check, you get a bill. Obviously, you wouldn't work at all, and there'd be no work, but also the tax revenues would be zero. Now, that's this point right here on the Laffer curve. At 100% tax rates, no one will find there's any incentive whatsoever to work. They won't work, and tax revenues will be zero as well. Now, as you start lowering tax rates to 99, to 98, to 97, somewhere along the line, all of a sudden, you're going to find it worthwhile to start working, and you're going to see revenues starting to rise. And again, at this point, if they start raising tax rates, as they start raising tax rates, what you're going to find is the revenues are going to increase, but they're going to increase at slower and slower rates. And these two curves will come at a point, the maximum point out here. And so this is the Laffer curve, which really brings together the debate about taxes. There are two effects taxes have on revenues. Number one, which we call the arithmetic effect. If you raise tax rates, you do collect more revenue per dollar of tax base. That's the arithmetic effect. But there's also the economic effect, which if you increase tax rates, you reduce the attractiveness of doing the activity, and you will shrink the tax base. These two effects, the arithmetic effect and the economic effect, always work in the opposite direction. In this range, the arithmetic effect wins, and you get more revenues by raising tax rates. In this range, the economic effect wins, which by raising tax rates, you actually get less revenues because you do more and more damage to the tax base. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Laffer curve.
So that exactly is what we have been saying, that when you tax more, and that video is saying, people will not get a reason to go and work if at the end of it all, what to collect is just money going into bills, because you don't have, just spend everything. And that is why I agree, ladies and gentlemen, and this is not an analysis, not veer off from analysis kidogo. Things are tough in this country. Things are really tough. If you realize that you had some objectives you wanted to achieve towards the end of the year, and you've been forced to reschedule them so that you adjust to the situation, do not feel bad that you've not achieved them, because you need to adjust. If you are constructing a house, myself, I was constructing a house for my parents. Yes, I had to stop it because things simply can't add up. And if you realize, don't ever feel like I did not achieve one for this year. Things are tough and we have to work with the way things are. There are three interpretations to this, and for me, I am glad that a member of the cabinet, senior most official in Kenya Kwanza, is leading the anti-tax revolution by saying enough is enough. Me, I'm glad. If someone's going to leave government because he has said we are being overtaxed, so be it. And I like it because when it starts from Waziri, it's giving Kenyans the courage of defiance. And let me tell you, good experience. Yesterday, yesterday, my son was sick. So I took him to the hospital, some private hospital. And so I realized, okay, she was taken, I was not there. So I was saying, send me the till number so that I can pay. Then I realized I could not pay through the till number. And I had to argue with the guy, the person on the other end, for, asking, why not till number? Then he told me, KRA, wanatuendea, so we can't. So send me in my number. I'm speaking about a true experience. And you realize, when you go to these hospitals and some of these government entities, I was also in another one, I don't want to mention the hospital, but it's a big private hospital. And they're saying, don't pay us through the till number. Even send, they got some number, so send in that number. You know what? That's how things have gotten. Until people are saying, if Azari is saying too much, it's too much, even the public is getting the courage to evade. Because tax evasion is also something that is going on there. Number two, our taxation policies is not yielding revenue as intended. And that is what Waziri Mutua is saying. That we are reducing the number of tourists coming. And to cap it all, despite of all that taxation that we're putting, we still have a problem in service delivery. The other day, just last month, there was a long queue in Nairobi National Park, and I was there. And the reason why we had to queue there for nearly 4 hours is because the system was down. The payment system was down. And I was like, look at this. You do all that taxation, but still here, things are not there. You after taxing, you still come. The cost of getting to Masamara Game Reserve has been tripled. Thrice. The cost has been tripled. So you see? And when, with all those stringent policies, who is going to Masai Mara? Who is going to spend? Lastly, from that Alfred Mutua soundbite, it is also coming out clearly that perhaps our policies are not coherent with the global practice. What we are doing here, we need to answer, we need to question what we are doing here. Kenya is also exporting some skilled and unskilled labor. I don't know whether unskilled, but some skilled labor outside. It's still exporting some skilled labor, Germany, UK, and other countries. Are we also being subjected that way? are we also being subjected to that taxation regime outside? Because it seems people live in fear coming from Kenya, and our other countries in Africa will benefit from this. So we need, I think, as much as we collect, we need to look at the bigger picture. And for me, I insist, and I keep on resisting this under the bold, that President Ruto must strike the balance. Because as much as we are collecting more, but if we are still losing some 2 billion per day, as Uhuru Kenyatta once said, then the only difference is that we are not borrowing, but we are collecting. But of course, we borrowed more than what we borrowed anyway. But we are still, the circle is still not going to, we will still not get out of the circle. Because despite of the fact that we are collecting more, we are still looting much of it. So I still believe that we need to just work on loopholes and be gradual on taxation. You cannot just clamp anyone. It seems the performance contracts by waziris were like how your ministry can contribute to revenue stream in the country. I don't think that's the mantra that will get us out of the hole, if indeed we are in a hole. Thank you. And let's continue supporting the Welfare Challenge. Guys, I really hope that this is our project for November. Yes, it will drag a bit, but I believe that it will still be possible. Thank you. This place, it's a very serene space, guys. You can do your laundry here. You can also just rest and just around the balcony, as you have a very good view of the place. And by the way, as your cameraman is showing you, you see the place is quite an amazing space, and you can take a very good view. So even standing here or being around this place is quite a very interesting scenery. So this is what is it? So let's go back inside so that we give you the other bit of it. Yes. So this is your sofa sets. This is where you can relax. So you make yourself comfortable here. If you can look at it, these are the chair and then the TV set. So it's a place you can, I promise you, this is a place that you really loved. I've been here for the last I think I spent my night here, and it's quite amazing. It's quite an amazing place. So I want to show you the other spaces, but this is literally what that living room looks like. You really love it. So let's go. Now, the other place I want you to see, this is the dispenser. Yeah, this is the dispenser, and they have Wi-Fi. So you should not even worry about your internet, and I've used it. It's quite very fast. So you can be able to run your errands if you want to work online, you want to just keep up, and you also want to watch the Bold podcast, you'll be able to get that. So on this end is now double bed. This looks amazingly beautiful. I'm telling you, this is good. You know, this is a place that sometimes kwa maisha pia unajitibu. You just unazoea hii, you get used to this one. It's quite good space. And then I've realized, by the guys, the cost is a bit hot. I don't want hot or relatively hot. And when you get into this spaces, it's quite good. This is the double bed. So if you are a couple, you can organize yourself here. Now this is where you can keep your stuff. See, it's your wardrobe. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's open. Then here, the ventilation is there, and you see the fan, so you can organize yourself. And then it will on. With that, you can get your fresh air, and you will be amazing. So this is our washroom, and this is another hospitality space that's quite an amazing. You will literally love it. You can organize yourself, find out well, and yes, these are the places that you should really come to visit. Then I want to show you the other end. There is something I need to show you in this room. Now there is something interesting, but let me tell you. As you can see, hapa, this is some transparent. This is a bit transparent kio, and if you can just open, if you want to get out because you can still get a good view. No, this one is in your bedroom and you're still getting a good view of the coast. You can still just open, make yourself come along. Then you come out and take another view. Even this one you can still take, and just take a rest. Wow. Fresh, cool, amazing. I don't know what else you're waiting for. You should then figure out coming this end so that you make yourself comfortable. Thank you very much, and I hope to hang around with you. You can organize yourself. Let's come here during this festive season. Thank you.